welcome to FurMedia, where we provide a voice and social connection with furries around the world. My name is Space, and I'm joined by my lovely host.
Punya.
And we welcomed you guys to tonight's evening show, and I totally messed that up. Crap. I'm doing a challenge called Stop the Pop at work, and I'm trying to not drink coffee and energy drinks. All I gotta do is not drink apples, but drink water and apples for energy, and it's not good. It's taking me like 3 times as long to wake up at work. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I don't know." It's hard. Today we got a big topic, a lot to cover. We're talking about furry conventions, planning it, getting there, budgeting, all that jazz. But before we do that, we have some multi-fandom news that Punya is going to talk about, and I'm going to show you guys some stuff.
Since we don't want to end the show on a somber note, we're going to do the sad bit of news first. I posted a link about this on my furry Facebook account as well as on FurMedia. And this is about an 11-year-old boy named Michael Morones who tried to commit suicide because he was being constantly harassed and picked on at school because he enjoyed My Little Ponies. He tried to hang himself, and I am just floored that this bullying was pushed so far for an 11-year-old to want to take his own life for being harassed, basically. He was rescued in time. He's still alive, but he is unconscious and is suffering from some brain damage. There's been a lot of support for him. The voice actress who does Pinkie Pie is his favorite character in the show, sent him a personal message, and his parents play the message for him all the time, and it's the only spike that they can get in his brain readings is when that message is played for him. There is a donation fund going out for him to help cover his medical expenses, which has actually doubled, has more than doubled. Their goal was $20,000, and they're at over 46,000 right now. So there are a lot of people, especially in the brony community, that are pulling for this little kid. And we just wanted to bring it to attention. We at FurMedia are always taking a stand against any kind of bullying, even more so with children. But if you guys feel inclined to donate or spread the word, just to help have people be more aware of situations like this, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, just spread the word. We put the links in there for you guys. All you have to do is click on those links, and then you all have Twitter and Facebook, and you're all connected somehow. Text it to someone. Spread the word, because the more the word gets spread, the more money they can raise for this child. I got pissed when I saw this, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Kids. I mean, it's just like you said, an 11-year-old. It doesn't make sense at all. And if you read the article, you see that he's heavily involved in his church. He's the greatest little kid you've could possibly ever read about, and it's just unfortunate to see something like this happen to a kid. And I'll be honest, I actually cried a little bit at the end of it, because I'm just like, I wish I could just do something about it, but the only thing I really can do is either donate and then spread the word and help others understand that this is a serious thing out there. So it's really cool to see the brony community come together. I have friends that make fun of the bronies, and I'm like, don't mess with the bronies, man. They'll take you out. Don't offend them. So it's just amazing to see what the community can do. I'm just amazed what the furry fandom community does. So whenever someone passes away or an accident happens, you're sure to know about it on Twitter or FA, and then people just pull together, and there's always get well and artwork being posted. It's just insane how fast the word can spread, but then how well, we're talking good news, not drama news, good news, how well people can handle it. So it's really cool to see it done. So today we have two major furry conventions that we're going to be featuring as our featured column, I guess we could call it. And we're going to do these kind of in the way of time. So Punya is going to go first. She's going to talk about Great Lakes Fur Con, which happens this weekend. And then I'm going to follow up with my favorite con.
All right. So, Great Lakes Fur Con is Grand Rapids, Michigan's first furry convention. I've been hearing lots of good things so far. I'm expecting a great turnout. Um, like we said, it's going to be this weekend, so the 7th through the 9th. If you guys are in the Midwest area, I totally encourage you to come here and see. This year, our guests of honor are going to be Oh My God Sparky, which a lot of you are probably familiar with. She does a lot of fun music videos on YouTube, as well as Ray Meerkat, aka Step. And Ray's a lot of fun. He's a great suitor.
I think it's. Are you sure?
I'm sorry. She.
There you go. Because I'm pretty sure
I'm
it's a
so
chick.
used. I'm just so used. Like when I see suits, I'm just like, oh, he. It's my brain default. I guess it's better than it. Um, the hotel that the convention is going to be taking place at is the Ramada Plaza, which also has an I didn't know about this. I knew it had a pool. I did not know it also had a 3-story water slide.
Shut up. That's like my number one thing when I'm going to like hotels is does it have a pool? Does it not have a pool? We're not going.
Oh my gosh, there's gonna be furries slipping and sliding all over the place.
If someone goes fursuiting in the pool, will you get it on film, please?
I will try, but I don't think that's something that the hotel staff is going to smile kindly on, particularly if there's a lot of fur gumming up their filters.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not so much if it was an outdoor pool, but we're going to be in the single digits, I believe, next weekend. So I wouldn't recommend it. It's also in walking distance from two really big shopping malls. So food is all right there. If you need to buy something in a pinch, everything's right there for you.
They have a masquerade.
Yes, I did see that.
I'm excited. I'm not going. I'm not going, but I would love to go.
Oh, I just got word from Kira Tora that they do have an Adult Swim.
An Adult Swim what?
For the pool. I'm guessing they're going to close the pool to minors after a certain time and have Adult Swim.
All right. You know, I mean, skinny dipping isn't frowned upon in some places, so cool.
Yeah, BTW, Kira Tora is the director of operations for Great Lakes Fur Con.
Oh,
And
welcome.
she is in the chat.
Well, let me see if I don't know if my person's in chat, but oh well. I like the theme 404 theme not found.
I wasn't sure what to think at first, but I really like the theme. I know there's some people that are like, what? But that's kind of the point. So I expect to see a lot of 4channing and memeage at this con.
Pause with a cause. That's their charity this year.
Pause with the Cause, as well as Crash's Landing. Yes, that's a very well-known animal sanctuary around Grand Rapids. Lots of people love to give money to Crash's Landing.
I've never heard of it, but now that I know, I'm a big fan of Best Friends Animal Society.
I've heard of them.
They're, I think, located in Utah, like southern Utah. I'd love to go and volunteer. That'd be so much fun. Because you can do that. You can go and volunteer. They'll pay for you pay for your stay, but they'll take care of everything else for you. And then I can just hear it's such a rewarding experience.
It is. It really is. I've volunteered time at shelters and rescues before, and it's a memory making moment. It's hard to leave.
Schedule. So it's a pretty easy site to navigate too. And they got the information that they all need.
Yep, it's nice and clean, easy read. I've asked a couple questions and gotten uh, quick turnaround responses. So everybody seems to be on the ball with this one. I have high hopes for this new con. And in case any of you guys are interested, here is the link to the website if you'd like to check it out.
I thought I already put it in the chat.
Oh, did you? Oh, you did. Look at you all on the ball tonight.
That's what I do. I have to do that. Well, Great Lakes FurCon sounds awesome, but that's nothing in comparison to Biggest Little FurCon, my personal favorite when it comes to furry conventions. And I'm about to blow this website out of the water. Bam! I did some researching, folks, and let me just tell you, I'm a big fan of websites. And the fact that this one basically makes Comic-Con look bad should make a statement right then and there. This furry convention is a small convention, but I'm pretty sure this year will be considered to be a medium-sized con as they broke several records last year. And I can't remember how many fursuiters they had, but they broke a record for most fursuiters at a first-time convention, which is just amazeballs.
Wow.
Yeah. And they have a really cool resort that they go to as well. It's called the Grand Sierra Resort. And let me pop this in here so you guys can check this out. Basically, if oh, hey, thank you, Rogue, for popping that in there. Rogue, our IT guy, is manning our chat, so he's got all the links. Thank goodness. The one thing about cons that this one right here, particularly, that kind of sets aside from everything else, is most fur cons have to create events to keep you excited, games, activities. This con really doesn't have to do that because it's in a resort. The resort itself has every single thing that you could possibly want. It has go-karts, it's got mini golf, bowling, there's a movie theater, there's a giant theater itself where they do performances, there's gambling, there's bars, and just tons of restaurants. There's activities outside. You could go bungee jumping outside, which I think is pretty cool, but I would never do it. And there's just tons of cool things to do.
Jeez, it's like you're in the middle of Reno or something.
I'm not kidding. There's just so much. They also have pretty good deals too. Like it says right here, there's $75 a night. The rooms are to be so stellar, and I'll show you the rooms here in just a second. But the staff itself, like honestly, the staff is so well organized. I have never been to a con where I've just gone in, registered, got my stuff, and then went out. It took me less than 5 minutes. And even during the busiest times, it took maybe like 10 minutes to get to someone. What's also pretty revolutionary, and I just wonder if I can pull up. Oh, they don't have a map yet. They had a map last year. But what they did, I'm just gonna kind of just picture this in your mind, a con floor, okay? So just imagine like a giant sized convention room, but everything in that convention room includes the marketplace, the stage, panel rooms, con ops, and everything else you could possibly need. They do this for a reason, so that you are forced to talk with each other inside the con, so you're making new friends. Whereas other cons like AC literally have to go from like one side to the other to get to maybe like a panel or to get to a show or an event. It's all here. It's all in one. It's like a one-stop shop. And this is just rumor. I haven't been able to confirm this, nor have I actually asked, and I probably should have before I started this show. But if I'm correct, Biggest Little FurCon is going to be doing something that no FurCon I think has done yet, and they're opening their marketplace to the public, which means you do not have to register to walk into the artist alley to buy artwork, which means they've just opened up their profit, like by like a large sum. So that's pretty cool. So anyone who's passing by, if they're interested, they want to take a look and see what's going on, they don't have to register. They can just go on in there and take a look, which is pretty cool.
So they're basically treating their artist alley no longer like a Costco.
No, yeah, they're treating it like a mall at this point. So now you walk into the mall and you can go anywhere you want to, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's going to be really great business for the artists.
Yeah. The other cool thing too is what I really like about the con itself. Like I said, you're kind of forced to like interact with each other. Literally, when you walk in to the con floor, you can see from the floor all the way into the artist alley. You can see all the way directly into con ops. You can see directly on the stage. So the cool thing is, if you're like doing a live performance or if you're doing a panel and you're on stage, the stage is literally like almost not in the middle of the con floor, but it's right there. So even if there isn't people like directly in seats in front of you, there's people all around you. So you're still getting a wide audience, which is pretty neato. Tons of tables, everything's just it's just a nice con. They're so well organized. If there's a problem, they're on it within like 2 seconds. They probably the most best staff I've ever met. So I'm not done yet, so don't think I'm done. Their membership is only about it's pretty cheap actually. Let me see if I can go to registration. Here we go. The registration is open and it's $30 pre-reg, $40 at the door. That's just the standard. You can get the tubular. So this year's theme is 80s, which is pretty cool. I really like that.
I'd be so down with that theme.
Oh yeah. I think anyone is.
I love the 80s.
The 80s are cool. You get a poker chip, a collectible poker chip. I still have mine from last year, but you get a new one this year. And then obviously like 100. The to the man I think is the top one, which is $90, and you get a ton of stuff. And the cool thing is if you register for the tubular or the to the man price, you get a 5% or a 10% chance of a free membership for next year. As though you could win it. So it's not a lot, but it's still enough to be like, I think I might upgrade, which you can. It's pretty cool.
I love it when conventions offer little incentives like that. I believe the hotel for MFF did something like that where you could, oh gosh, I think you had to register for something in particular, and then your name was put in a drawing to win. It was either 2 or 3 nights stay, complimentary, but from the hotel.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's like a whole con right there.
So I'm just going to show the rooms, and then we'll probably just segue into our topic real quick. Generally, when it comes to like con rooms, people go for the lowest like price because they want to save a lot of money so they can use their money elsewhere. And the rooms really aren't that great. When I go to a convention, whether it's a social media conference or a furry convention, whenever, I want a good room and I want to enjoy it. I want to get the most I can for my buck. And the Sierra Resort has done that. I mean, look at their rooms here. I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this. I've did this before, but apparently I can't. Okay. Here is like generally this is not exactly what the value rooms look like, but the rooms looks very much similar to this. Very nice. Very swanky, upscale. They did a huge renovation, so now everything looks really, really nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then
it's
even
warm and inviting.
Yeah. So that's something that's pretty cool about this con. Now, the only downside to Biggest Little Fur Con, and I hate putting downsides to things, but really the only downside is that it's not friendly with 18 or less minors. The reason being is because there's gambling and there's also drinking. So if you're 18 years old, 19, 20, you're going to have to probably be with someone else as an adult, guides you through. But other than that, it's pretty much stellar. And so that's the con I'll be at, and I'll be interviewing staff there as well. So I won't be doing a show this year, but you guys can seek me out. I'll most likely be on the tables or like
Dancing
not
on the tables.
not yeah, probably. No, I'm talking about like the convention tables. I'll be sitting down probably on my computer working on something, or look for a badge. We'll show what the FurMedia badge will look like for the Biggest Little Fur Con before we go out, so you guys can identify that if you're going. So, and then you're going to a con too. You're going to.
I am going for the first time to FWA. I am super excited. I don't think I haven't been this excited for a con in a long time. Mostly because I'm going to be seeing a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time.
Oh my God, you get to go back to school.
I know, isn't it great? Now the most of the people I'm going to see, most of the people I'm going to see at the convention are all college buddies, so it's perfect.
This is great. That's cool. So she'll be at FWA. So if you guys want to see her, don't tackle her or anything. Be respectful. But if you want to see her, look for the FurMedia badge as well.
Yes, I will have FurMedia badges. I will be suiting with Punya. I won't be able to not fursuit, full suit, because I have lost. How much weight have I lost so far? 55 pounds. So my bodysuit is really, really baggy on me.
Don't rub it in.
Sorry. I'll be weighing even less than that come the convention. But I will be partial suiting, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything in the AA. I haven't really looked over their rules and regulations for that yet.
Alcoholics Anonymous?
Yeah. I got a problem, guys. Artists Anonymous. I can't stop trying. But yeah, I am definitely going to be there. And if you're going, I would love for you to come find me so I can see your beautiful faces.
And so much more.
And so much more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, by the way, telephone will be at Biggest Little Fur Con. FYI. I did confirm that with her.
That's
and I'm
cool.
going to make her a giant golden ring and present it to her and be like, will you be my fandom Frodo?
I'm going to, I know what I'm going to do. You are going to have to send me, actually, no, I'm just going to use the logo we have. I'm going to make one of those really big novelty badges and pins, I should say, buttons for FurMedia, and I'm going to give it to her to wear.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know if she'll do it, but it's worth a try.
Yeah, you never know.
She was a great guest. She gave us some awesome promotions.
And she's going to come back again.
And she's a sweetheart, and out of suit.
Yeah, she is just a nice person.
She's very genuine.
Yeah.
If you guys have never had the chance to meet Telephone, and if she's gonna be at a convention you're going to, I'd recommend seeking her out. She's wonderful.
Yeah, definitely someone you don't want to pass up. All right, so tonight's topic is pro tips. Is that what we're calling it? Pro tips?
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons. And what does that mean?
Pro tips for your furry conventions.
So lame.
I know it's cheesy, but hey, sometimes we need a little cheese to spice things up a little bit.
Really do. So going to conventions can be pricey. Sometimes it can be confusing. You don't know which one to go to. If this guest of honor is going to be there, but maybe you really want to go to that one because it has a 3-story slide that goes into a pool, per se. You just don't know. So we're going to talk about planning your trip, what sites you can use, how you can get there. We'll talk about some events, panels, things you need to look forward to and start studying, getting to know before you go to the convention. And then we'll talk about some budgeting tips, which are very important because, saving money to buy artwork that's maybe sometimes overpriced is a good thing. So we're just going to go right into it. So I think the first one is planning your trip.
Mm-hmm.
You were telling me about a website. Well, it just actually, first off, what we probably should talk about is conventions themselves. They're everywhere. And on any given week or month, there's a convention going on. You just kind of have to look and see what's in your area and kind of decide how much money do you have? How far do you want to go? Is it worth the trip? Conventions that are around Utah, there's several. There's our RMFC, which is Rocky Mountain Fur Con. There's Arizona Con. There's BLFC. There's L8 Spring Gathering down in Las Vegas, which is not a fur con, by the way. I'm just saying it is not a fur con. It's just a giant party of alcohol and booze and stuff. I'm not kidding. That's all it is. Just furries go there. Doesn't mean it's a fur con. It's like going to Comic Con and saying now it's a furry con because all these fursuiters are here. So it's not a furry convention. Now, the best thing is now what I have to do now is decide which one do I want to go to, which one's going to be the best benefit for me. Rocky Mountain Fur Con is in Colorado. Not a big fan of the state, probably will never go. But Arizona is a pretty cool place, and I might go down there because why? A, telephone is down there, and B, um, oh, what's her face? Albino Topaz is down there too. Two of my favorite like fursuit dancers. So I would go down to that con. So you kind of have to like pick and choose like which ones you want to go to, and then we come to our uh, part where we talk about how you get there.
You
Now,
walk.
yo, yeah, you walk 5,000 miles.
Then you walk. It's 500.
Is it five? Oh, it's 500 miles. Sorry,
Hmm.
and you walk 500 more. Um, there's a couple websites you can use. There's like kayak.com, Priceline, Travelocity. There's a ton of websites you can go to and kind of price range of, if you're going to fly, of course, this would be a good place to go to. This will give you the best deals on, prices on who's going to offer you what. You can also rent cars too. You were talking about one called Allegiant Air.
Hmm. I have flown through Allegiant Air before, and they are a very discounted airline. The catch is, sorry, my volume's getting crazy. There we go. The catch is you can only fly out on certain days and to certain, only to select airports. So to give you an example, I put in Grand Rapids to Tampa, which let's see, I believe it was a week. I put in March 24th to the 31st, and for a round trip ticket for a week was $99.
Wow, that's a
Yeah,
really good deal.
as opposed to paying 350 to 400.
Now,
So it is a site worth looking into, but it doesn't guarantee that it's always going to fly you into the city that you want to be in.
that's what I was about to point out because the nearest airport in Utah is Provo, which is a super small airport. It's like one of those tiny biplane airports that you go into. But if I want to enter a destination from there, I only have about five, and that's LA, Oakland, Phoenix, San Francisco, and Scottsdale. So if I'm gonna fly from Provo, I better hope that one of these cities has a con in there somewhere. So Los Angeles will probably be like the San Jose one, the FC, and then I have to rent a car and get there. Is it worth it at that point? Because you got to rent the car. I don't know. So you, like you said, you got to just kind of figure out where it's gonna take you and all that jazz. Of course, you could also drive. Driving is a good one too. You're going to want a carpool, and we'll talk about that one later on. And if you're going to fly, this is a big one, okay? This is a tip that we came up with last year because we've done this show once before, but it was kind of a different take on it. Basically, you tip the bag man or he will bag you. And basically what that means, it's true. Whether you're on a train or you're flying out, a lot of people don't think about this, but if you're flying with a fursuit and you want your fursuit to make it there safely without anything broken, tip the guy, the person at the counter, or if you drive up, I usually go to, oh, I don't know what you call them, like check-in that's in the loop. I've never gone and checked inside into the airport. I've always done check-in on the outside. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Okay. So I've done that, and then I usually tip them like $3 or $4, just because I want my luggage to make it there safely. And those guys are out there, like in the freezing cold weather, the sweltering heat. Man, they deserve like at least a tip. It's nice. It's just common courtesy. If you weren't brought up with it, now you know about it. So just tip the bag man. It's nice.
I have
Um,
a little story about that.
Go for it.
I believe it was at MFF, and we had the roommates that I was staying with. They were kind of scattered all over. We were running back and forth to cars, but gradually our luggage was getting sent up to our room. And the friend of mine who intended to pay our bag man was not in the room when he had finished. He actually lingered in our room waiting for our friend to come back just so he could get tipped. Now I understand why. I know that they're busting their butts and doing a lot of hard work, but I think that's a little rude. Like they just expect money. And then after he wasn't there, oh no, we did have one more load coming up. Um, he wound up throwing two of our backpacks onto the floor with no regard to what was in it. Just dropped them and then took off.
And that's for hotels, right?
Yes, that was at the hotel.
Yeah.
So it is. I'm not saying if you don't tip your
Conf-
bag guy, the luggage guy, yeah,
your
um,
bellhop.
yeah, that you're gonna get bad treatment, but it's certainly not gonna give you better treatment.
Basically, anyone who handles your bag, minimum $1. Minimum. 'Cause
I
you
believe
just never know. You never
I
know.
I believe the standard is $5 for the first bag, and then one or two for each additional bag.
I'm just thinking like $1 to the cheapskates.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, for those who are like super tight on money. But for people like me, I'll probably do like the $5 just because I think it's nice.
Hmm.
So that's just something to keep in mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they still do bellhop services at hotels? Because
I'm not sure.
I've,
That's just you've what?
I've always just taken my stuff up to my hotel, my own
Oh yeah,
stuff.
they still have them. Actually, at FWA, we offered to carry our own stuff up, and they're like, "Oh no, 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 no!" They would not let us carry our own
We'll
bags
do it for
upstairs.
you. It's like
I
try
think it's.
to go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it's because they only have a certain amount of luggage racks, and they don't want to lose any of them as
Mm,
they're moving, because it's like 2 or 3 thousand people
it's true.
suddenly there for a weekend.
Yeah. So tip the bag man. Um, other things. Let's see. Oh yeah, trains. You guys can take the train to a con. Now here's the thing. I considered about taking a train to Reno, which is where BLFC is at. However, the train leaves at a really late time at night, and it also gets back at really early in the morning. So it usually leaves like around midnight, and then the next, like to get back home, it wouldn't arrive till like 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's really awkward times. Plus, it takes just as long. In fact, I think it takes longer to take the train than it does a drive. Um, Now, it might be a little bit cheaper than a drive, but I don't know. It just depends on how you want to get there. You could bike to a con if it's local. You could walk to it if you wanted to. You could pull a what's that movie called? You could pull a Forrest Gump and just run across the run across the nation. Or you could fly across. To give you an idea, just this is just flying alone, and I'm pretty sure the rates might have gone up. So I'm gonna bump my number up about $100. But it's gonna cost you roughly about $500 to go from East Coast to West Coast, and this is round trip. That's just for a plane ticket. That doesn't even include your room and your food and registration and activities. So unless you want to bust out like $400 every couple of months, I suggest like picking cons that are close to you at first, which is probably a good idea.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then of course, you get to the con and you register and stuff. What do you do at a con? That's
You
like
drink.
hey, you duct tape 2 drinks to your hand, you walk around. What do they
And you
call
tell
that?
everybody not to help you.
What is that? That's a prank or it's a joke, isn't it? Or a dare?
Oh, goodness. I think so. I just can't think of what it
I've
is.
seen someone do it. Um, there's events, panels, dances, parties, dinners, activities. Every con will tell you with different activities. They'll have a schedule of who's doing what, at what time, what activities are taking place, when the dance is, all that jazz. You're going to want to look into that. Also look into surrounding areas too. See what your friends are doing. If your friends are going to go out for dinner, go out to dinner with them. If they're going to go out to like a club, go to the club with them, to like get yourself involved, with either the con or the activities around, and then once you get there, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I just don't have time for anything because you're going to be going to cons or events all over the place. That's how it was last year. Like, I'm like, I just don't have time to do anything I want to do because I want to do everything. So hopefully this year I've dropped a couple of things. So I'm just like, sweet, I'm just going to enjoy myself this year. So look into those. And then let's see, our biggest one. Now this next part is called our budgeting section, and this is going to help save you money so you can use that money to buy other things. You ready for this?
Oh, I'm so ready.
I made a really corny slideshow.
Woo!
Budgeting tips. All right, what's the first one?
Bring food.
So generally, I like to buy food, not bring food. Because if I'm bringing food, it's going to be eaten by the time I get there. Because I'm a fatty.
I always bring food with me to conventions. I probably will at FWA too. But for me, being in the artist alley most of the time when I'm at conventions, it's hard to get up and take a break because usually in the AA they give you a time limit, and half the time it takes you longer than it should to get back upstairs to your room, especially with fursuiters going in and out of the elevator, and you have to wait and all that crazy stuff. It's just nice to have on hand. It's handy. You don't have to stop your work. And you don't really have to buy a lot to keep you covered for the weekend.
I was talking to a friend, last week, and he was eating like one of those. Oh, it was at a Wednesday night like free party at his house, and he pulls out this Myoplex bar. I'm like, oh man, those are horrible. And he's like, I ate these every single day at the convention. I saved so much money. And I'm like, I know, but those of all bars, you could have got like a Power Bar or a Tiger's Milk or something, but you got that one. You could bring like protein bars and granola, and some con rooms will have fridges. Like, I'm pretty sure ours will have a fridge, so you can put fruit in there if you want like fresh fruit. If you don't want to buy fresh fruit because you know you're going to be driving for 14 hours, then get to the con and then go to the store that's usually within a mile or two distance of the convention itself. Do some grocery shopping so that you have some food that's fresh. That's always a big thing because you're going to save a lot of money, because if you don't, like, if you have food that's maybe for like breakfast, if you get like cereal and some milk, you'll save yourself like $5 or $10 each morning, which is a good thing. Then you have like $20 left to do like lunch and dinner. So it really just, bring some food. Food's good.
I also do not recommend buying food from the hotel if they have one of those little, what is it called? It's like a little store that they'll have in their lobbies.
It's like a deli.
Yeah, they have deli food, and then they have like medicines and stuff, just basically last minute things. At MFF, there was a girl in line in front of me. I was getting some coffee, and she just about had a fit because she was going to buy a tube of chapstick. $4. $4 for a single tube of chapstick.
And you can usually get like a double pack of chapstick at the store for like $1.50.
Less.
Yeah. So go buy food not at the hotel. Hotels are probably they're gonna charge more because they have to make a profit. So and they know that people don't want to go to stores, and they're gonna come to the convenience store and be like, $4 for that chapstick, which you're gonna lose the next day, and then you're like, crap, I need to go buy another $4 chapstick. So I know, I've done it. So I was pissed. I bought like Advil. I lost the bottle. The Advil bottle cost me like $6 for like a little 20 count case, and I'm like, dude, $6 could have got me like 100 count bottle. I lost it and I had to go get a new one. It sucked. So, Advil, it's good for late night drinking.
Good for everything.
Yeah, it's good for everything. All right, the next one is
Bring coupons.
this one's
I'm gonna sh-
important.
I want to shout them all out.
Do it.
I will.
Okay, so one of these tips is from Punya because I've never actually heard of it. Sponsor badges.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
A sponsor badge is a higher level badge that you can get at conventions. Not all conventions do this. You pay a little extra, but that covers food for you. They Some conventions will have what are called sponsor lounges, and at certain times, usually listed in your schedule, they let you know when they will be serving food. Sometimes what they will be serving. If you don't have a vehicle and you don't have a lot of reliable means to get around out and about to get food, this would be something to consider. Um, and it really does save you money in the end. I mean, because some of these conventions, people will go out and spend like $20 on a meal, even more, for every meal.
Yeah, it's expensive. Another thing too to look for is in a lot of not a lot, but in some hotel chains, depending on where you go, they'll have coupons for you in the hotel. And
Hmm.
so what you'll do is you'll open up the book and you'll say like save 10% at the deli or and on any given day like 5-10% doesn't seem like a big deal when you're at home, but when you're on a vacation and you need to save money, that 10% means a big thing. I think there was like I had a magazine, and in fact it came in my con book registration because I went and registered, and then they put a bunch of coupons in there and I kept every single one of them. And the deli, like they called the porta subs, um which I call porta potty because it just sounded just like it. Um, but basically, there was like a buy one get one half off. There was come in at this certain time, get 15% off of your sub or meal, and I took advantage of that every morning because that's a good deal. It'll save a couple of bucks instead of paying full price. That's a good thing to look towards. Um, Also, look for deals in the area. If the hotel itself doesn't have a restaurant and there's restaurants around, go on to like Groupon or like I'm pretty sure there's deals websites with your local like classified section, whenever. Like ours in Utah is called KSL.com, which is the news station, but they have one called Deals. And like you can save money on going to restaurants by like paying half, and then you get like the full price value of it, which is really cool. So look for deals that are going on within the con or with outside the con as well, so that you can save yourself some money there, because that's going to be a big thing. It's money. Um, Moving on, the next one is
Carpool.
and why is it important to carpool?
Because it's fun. No. It's a great way to save money. And it's a great way to save gas. Everybody pile into one car, chip in for the gas on the way there, and everybody wins.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Um, I know a couple of us friends here in Utah, they'll rent like a van and then they'll pile in like 10 furries and then they'll go from here all the way to FC, but they'll save a couple of bucks because they all are sharing the gas and it's just cheaper that way. Would I do that? Hell no. Do not pile me in a van with 10 people. That's way too many people, way too many odors going on. There better be a Glade plug-in and some Febreze at hand.
I'm carpooling to FWA. But it's only with two other people.
Okay, good. Also bring some games too, because man, the drive is so long. I played I played the ABZ, the license plate game where you where you hit your friend. Or the other license plate game where you try to go through the whole alphabet, which is really hard to do, especially when you're traveling through a desert and there's nothing there. So, and I can't sleep in cars. I can't sleep on planes. I can't sleep in cars, boats, trains, anything, because I'm a nervous like traveler. So I'm up for like the 10, 14-hour drive. And by that like last stretch, I am so frustrated. I'm just like, I want to get there. I just want to get home. I want to get to the hotel. And so games do help me, like, keep me, like, tame.
Keep you in check.
Yeah, they do. Okay, what's the next one?
Oh wait, I wanted to add one more thing real quick.
Oh.
Um, if you are having trouble finding means of carpooling, look on the forums of the convention you plan on attending. There are always furries looking to fill spots. Or if you are driving and have room in your car and want to save a little more money, and see if there's somebody in your area that needs a ride.
Someone says books on tape are awesome, but they don't make tapes anymore. So books on CD. Um, oh yeah.
You mean MP3?
Pandora. Hello. Satellite radio. All right. What's the next one?
Artist Alley.
All right. You take this
Not
one.
to be confused with Diagon Alley.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Well, one tip is I know a lot of people, myself included, love to go through the Artist Alley and see what kind of goodies everybody's making. I know I've come across this myself, but I will occasionally bump into an artist that I absolutely admire, and I really, really, really want to get some art from them. But I'm still not sure because there's all these other wonderful artists that I want to see first. So one thing that you can do is see if the whatever the artist is offering will be available after the convention. If so, that gives you a little leeway to purchase other pieces of artwork that won't be. So either way, you're still getting art from the 2 or 3 or however many people you want, and as much as you want.
Yeah. Another good idea too is when you get there, not like the first thing that you get there, is to maybe like when the artist alley is open, do a run through, check out your artist, like see who's offering what kind of artwork is going on, and then come around the second time, and then maybe at this point you'll know exactly who you want to go to and actually want to pay for that artwork as well. Which also reminds me of something that I didn't put on here. Gosh dang, I forgot to do this. Most major
That's okay. We can improv.
Yeah, we can improv. It's easy. Most cons, what they'll do is you'll have an artist that's already on FA, and it's going to be announcing, hey, I'm doing con badge art. I'm offering it at this price, but if you come to the con, I'm going to be offering it at this price. So basically, it'll be like $10 cheaper online, and then at the con, it'll be $10 more. So look for those deals, but also if you buy a badge online and you're picking it up, it's best to go there and pick up your badge right away, because then they'll be busy later on and just causes problems. So, which honestly, this is like literally leading into another point too. Going into the artist alley again, like I said, to make your run through to kind of see what artists you want to see. A big thing you need to be aware of is they do have something called lists. I know it's weird, right? A lot of artists will have a list out, and it's actually, what do you call it? A queue. And basically you put your money down and then you put your name on there and you're done. And what will happen is if that list fills up, they're not taking any more commissions. So what you'll want to do is go through there and see which artists you want, and then write down your commission, so that way you're set to go, and then you can continue to shop and enjoy the con and not have to worry like, oh my god, I didn't get my art commissioned by so and so because I totally just didn't go when I was supposed to. So get that in like right away if you can. Yeah, like Fisha says, the earlier the better. Some artists will be set up right away, some won't be, so just get in there when you can.
Just for the record, if you guys are ever at a convention that I'm at and I happen to be working in the alley, I always offer discounted prices at conventions. Always.
Well, you're a nice person.
I know. I try.
So yeah. Next one. What is the next one?
Rooming!
I I hope you guys like the doorknob. I typed in do not disturb doorknob, and what came up? All My Little Pony do not disturb doorknobs. So I just picked the one that I liked, which is Princess Celestia. This one, you take this one because you'll probably have more experience than I would on worst case scenarios with rooming.
Okay. Yeah, worst case scenarios. If you did not have the chance to get a room or gather up a bunch of friends to get a room and you're kind of struggling and searching around for an available space from people you don't really know, that's something you really want to look into. It's a good opportunity for you for the situation, but it might not be the best opportunity for you. Um, so just do a little research about the people that you plan on rooming with, if especially if you've never met them before. I've had
Some bad experiences.
no, I don't think I've had any that were too terrible. And the only one that I did on a whim with people I didn't know turned out to be one of the best rooming situations that I've ever experienced. Um, let's see.
That's kind of rare.
I know, I was really surprised.
Um, the other thing, and while I'm talking about this, unplug your microphone just before it happens. So the other cool thing about rooming is you can save money, and how you do that is you pile more people into your room, the more you can split the price altogether. So if your room is like $100 a night and you have 4 people in there, that's $25 a person. The more people you add, the lower that wage goes down. So that's always a good thing. But there are some places like BLFC, which is a resort. So it's almost better to have not as many people, because 1 to 2 people is like a set price. If you add 3 or more, then the price goes up. So it just depends. Like on some certain places, do your research, do your homework, and see if the rooming, adding more people is going to help. But usually, adding more people is going to be a better deal.
And if you don't really mind rooming with strangers, at least take the time to get to know the people that you're rooming with beforehand. Talk to them on Skype, talk to them on AIM, send notes on FA, on Facebook, whatever you can, just to kind of break the ice, so it's not super awkward when you do room with them.
AIM is still a thing.
What was that?
AIM is still a thing.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I thought that thing died out.
no.
Oh, well, it should.
I think AOL died out, but the Messenger is still around. I use Adium, but that's a Mac thing.
Yeah, it has to be a Mac thing. And the last one, which is the biggest one,
Money management.
this whole thing we've been talking about how to save money, but now you got to figure out like what you're gonna do with money. I think the first thing that you need to do is if you're gonna go out of state, call your bank and let them know that you're going out of state.
Yes.
The reason you do this is because let's say your bank's not familiar with you going out of state at all. They might freeze your account because they might see something that's so random that all of a sudden you're starting to rack up these charges. So if you let them know, hey,
All across the country.
yeah, just let them know, hey, I'm going out of town to this state. If you see charges from this, city or whatever, it's okay. Let them know ahead of time so that they don't like freeze your account. The other reason too to let them know that you're going out of state is, let's say you'll lose your card, and then all of a sudden these ridiculous charges start coming out of nowhere. You can let them know that someone stole your card or you lost your card or something. So that's always just good. Let your bank know that you're going to be going out. The other thing too that I recommend doing is having money prepared before you go to the con. This kind of goes into a couple of topics. Just have your money ready to go. What I plan on doing is on my last major check before I have to do bills, I plan on taking that money and holding it, because I know that I'll probably have something like major coming up, and then I'll put that money back into my bank, or I'll deposit or completely cash out what I need and take that with me to the con, so I will be set. I'm doing that for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is I want to make sure that I can get there. The other reason is I need money to get back home. And I cannot tell you how many times I've been to a convention where someone has said, oh, well, I registered, but I don't have a room.
Yeah, I've met a couple of those.
And I'm like, how dumb are you to like register and not have a room, let alone not get back home?
Yeah, the one that really gets me is oh, I spent all my money and now I can't get back home. Well, you shouldn't have been here in the first place.
Yeah, that's way to go.
People, furry convention responsibly. Do not impose yourself on others because you were careless with your finances.
Just don't. It's just,
It's rude and inconsiderate. Granted, there are a few bleeding hearts that will help you get home if you're ever, or will help them get home. I don't want to label anybody as a freeloader, but
seriously.
but yeah, it's something you really want to avoid. It's not looked upon with welcoming eyes, I guess.
Well, like, I don't want to sound like a jerk here, but this is like my honest reasoning. Someone approached me at a con last year and asked me, hey, can I stay in your room? And I'm like, well, can you give me money up front so that I can guarantee that you're going to pay for it? And he's like, I don't have any money. I'm like, sorry, I'm on a budget. If I bring you into the room, it's going to be unfair for the other people in the room that you're getting a free night stay. I really can't do that because the money would be awesome to have, but obviously you can't afford it. I'm really sorry. And I had to send them on their way. And I think they got a room with someone else, but still, it's just annoying. Do not be a freeloader.
Real quick to add something here. Demi first says, wouldn't it be more sensible to get a room first and then register as long as you have the money? Yes, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. But there are furries that feel like that they can gamble a free ride or a free space on the floor at conventions.
Yeah. I think the first thing I did is right after BLFC announced their new dates, I went right onto the website and booked a room so that I'd have a room. And then later on this year, I think I only registered like a few weeks ago, and the con's in like a month and a half. So I knew that it was going to be like $30 and $40 at the door. $10 difference doesn't really make a difference to me. So I figured having a room is more important. Because I want to take a shower.
Mm-hmm.
Get all that stank off me. Freeloader stank.
It smells like polar bears.
Hey. Another good idea. What?
I was just gonna say, did we talk about bringing cash? I think we might have skipped that.
We did. Bring cash. Well, the other thing too I was gonna say is bring a gift card.
Ah, yes, or a prepaid
money card. Reason for this
is that you will know exactly how much money you have and how much you will be spending and how much you will be allowing yourself to spend. That way, if you do overdraft or end up blowing all of what you have saved up for the con, it won't be a rude surprise in your bank account later.
Which is what I'm going to be doing this year. I'm going to buy actually some gift cards that I'll have, so I'll know what card is going for food, what card is going for artwork, and then what card is being used for gas and, stuff to get through the con. So that way I'll be all set. But I think like the most important, this is not part of the budgeting tip, this is just an overall importance in general, and anyone will tell you, what's the number one rule at a convention, Punya? It's 3 simple numbers.
6-2-1 rule.
Yeah. That's
I had to get my numbers in order.
What is 6-2-1?
6-2-1. Every day, at least 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, 1 shower.
That last one is so important because no one wants to smell you at a con. The only smell I should be smelling is cologne or Axe body spray, or just, if you're one of those people who naturally just smells good, awesome for you. But I do not want to be smelling last night's fursuit dancing or, 2-day-old stank from driving. I don't want to smell that.
I don't want to smell your room party.
Yeah, I don't want to smell your room party. God. Take a shower. It's not that hard. You're in a room. Take a shower. I don't understand. Like some people just don't take showers. They're like, I'm so excited. I'm like, that's cool. Be excited in your shower. I'll see you in 20 minutes.
Mhm.
You know, 6 hours of sleep. It's very important to do that because although a con is very exciting, your body does need sleep, and if your body doesn't get the proper amount of sleep, you will get sick.
Especially if you plan on drinking. You're
Yeah.
asking for a whole world of trouble right there.
So with that 6 hours of sleep thing, another thing to do is bring like Advil. If you can't sleep like me, I haven't been able to sleep pretty much all my life, so I had to take melatonin to help me fall asleep. Bring some vitamin C because someone at the con is gonna be stupid to bring a cold, and then everyone's gonna get sick. Which is con crud. Just Google it.
Yeah, if you guys want, one thing that I do to avoid con crud is I double up on vitamin C pills 3 or 4 days ahead of time before a convention. That gives my body time to boost boost the immune system. And what I mean by double up is taking 2 to 4,000 grams of vitamin C a day. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it really does help. And then
It,
once you're at a convention, you should be pretty safe taking one pill, which I believe they come in 1,000 milligrams.
yeah,
But mhm.
I have a multivitamin that I take, but I usually double up before that, and
And
then
wash your hands a lot,
yeah, wash your
or
hands.
bring hand sanitizer with you.
People get sick at cons. There's one thing I don't want to scare anyone here, but it's kind of taking United States by storm. It's called norovirus, and norovirus is pretty intense because it's undetectable. What could happen is you could be sick, you don't even know it, and 24 hours later you're throwing up, but then you're okay. But everything you've touched by then, someone else has touched it too. And basically what it is, it's on-hand contact. So even if you've touched a door, and that hasn't been sanitized or anything, and then like 30 other people have touched that door, 30 people have now picked up that cold and will now experience the wrath of, I hate saying it, like diarrhea and vomiting for like 24 hours. So sanitize your hands whenever you can get the chance. Bring like those little, like Bath and Body Works has those little keychains of like hand sanitizer, and they smell really good. That'll be good. Plus, it'll help mask any odors that you might have not taken a shower with. So, you know, sweet pea on my hands. Yum.
I just want to say, knock on wood, that I have never caught con crud.
I have. It was the worst. It was the worst con ever. Well, it was a convention in Idaho, so any convention in Idaho is probably not gonna be the greatest, anyways, because it's in the middle of nowhere. We called it Potato Con because it was so small.
TaterCon.
Yeah, but I got there, and then like the second day, no, that night my throat got like scratchy. No, it was the second night my throat got scratchy, and then the third night and the fourth night, and it just got worse from there. And I'm just like so like by the third night, I'm running to like the gas station or the convenience store to get some like Dayquil just to enjoy the con. But it was done. I was just done. I was just like, I can't do it anymore.
It was over. Time to lay down.
Yeah. So those are some con tips for you guys right there. Did we miss any? Oh, we didn't miss any from
No,
our notes.
I think we covered everything that we had.
Before we go into open topic, because we'll do that for a few minutes, I did ask you guys about some tips for con. I gotta go find it real quick. I asked you guys what's some advice you would give to a first-time con goer. You guys were smart. Some people said 621. Shiva says don't glomp the fursuiters. Can you explain what glomping is?
A glomp is a very forceful hug. Usually these happen at a run and a jump and throws the victim completely off their feet. Yes, a tackle hug.
A tackle hug. It's not a cuddle hug.
I actually have a pin that says glomp on it with the red circle and the red slash through it.
It's a good idea.
No glomp.
No glomp. Another person says go out there and make friends. I know when I have like really high anxiety when I'm in large groups, so conventions kind of to me are almost really are much scarier than a meet. I know it's weird because my personality in this show is so outgoing and fun, but then you see me in a con, you will see me on a table. I am just really shy and I have high anxiety around large groups. And so last year at Big's Little Fur Con, I maybe made like one or two friends. Do I actually remember who they are? No. And I regret that. And I hope this year that I just go out there and I just literally just attack everyone and be like, hey, how are you doing? Blah, 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 you know? So make friends because you'll make some really good friends that'll last years at conventions, especially, you know, if they're in your same state or maybe Punya lives in Michigan. I live in Utah. I'd consider us to be good friends. We've never actually met, but um,
We talk to each other like we've been friends since high school.
yeah. So it's just you'll be surprised what you find at a con or online.
Oh gosh, can you imagine what we'd be like if the two of us ever went to a con together?
Oh my gosh, it would be so awesome.
Heads would turn.
Oh, it'd be like one of those moments where the doors like slam open and like smoke is coming from the doors, and it's like we have arrived. You know, like everyone needs to put their attention on us. um. I thought this was funny, but at the same time, I thought it was kind of mean. Only if some people will get this. Naz El Rey says, learn to use the stairs. There's a joke out there. I'm not going to say it because it's horrible, but a lot of people will repeat it. It involves some sort of scaly. We'll just leave it at that. Do you know what I'm referencing to?
No.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Some of you guys might. Learn to use the stairs in fursuit because there's no way you can gauge how thick or small those stairs are, and you probably will trip and fall.
That sounds terrible. I hope I never have to witness a furry biffing down a flight of stairs. I would feel so bad. I would feel bad for them, and then I would feel terrible because I know there'd be some little bit of evil inside me that would really want to laugh.
Sid. Who is this Sid? Sid. There's a Sid in chat. I want to say it's Sid Stoat, but I'm pretty sure it's not Sid Stoat. Kevin says if you enter a room with an inflatable animal, ... It just leaves it at that. So thank you for leaving it at that. I would probably like burst out in laughter. I'd be like, all right, where's the party? Jesus says if you walk with food, stay away from fursuiters to avoid accidents.
Good suggestion.
That's a great suggestion. No one wants cotton candy all over their fursuit, even if it is a snack for later.
Yes, fursuits are expensive. People take a lot of time to keep them looking nice. They don't need gummy little fingers messing up their fur.
Okay, Nelson Demifur, so I'm assuming Demifur is the person that's in chat, makes a really good point here. Remember, you can still get kicked out, so don't act like you do online. So if you're a dick online, don't be a dick at the con. Okay.
We've got some very sensible furries here.
We really do.
I'm so proud of you guys.
Let's see. Who else said what? We got Onyx says, don't plan anything. Just go where your paws take you.
Sometimes it's a lot of fun, too.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have anything planned in particular for the convention.
It might be a good idea. Oh, God. What's an SYS party?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to
It's just
figure out what the abbreviation stands for.
Do you want me to read it out loud?
Is it appropriate?
It says avoid the SYS parties unless you're showered, shaved, and brought lots of stuff. So I'm assuming that's a sex party.
I guess so.
We'll move on to that one. Michael says, talk to people, get pictures with fursuiters. Please, for the love of God, shower every day. We're the cleanest people at conventions. Don't spoil it. uh,
That's great. I see my mom.
do you really?
I do.
Where?
She's right down there on your screen.
I don't see your mom.
You
Oh,
scr-
oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I'm like, what? So
Speaking of stalkers,
oh well, look at this to change your mind. Oh, isn't that just
look at that big puffy, poofy puppy.
that is a
Tibetan Mastiff.
no, it's a Chowski.
Oh, cute.
It's a Chow Chow and Siberian Husky Misk, which is pretty cute. I want one.
I
So,
don't.
dude, they're the best dogs ever.
They look fun, but I would not be happy cleaning my house of tumbleweeds every day.
uh, all right, well, with that, we're going to open up to open topic, which means you guys can ask us any questions you want to, whether it's related to the topic or anything you want, as long as it's safe for work and not delving into our personal lives. So ask away, and we do ask that you put your questions in bold so we can determine which ones are actual questions and which ones are just chat.
Yes, and serious questions, please.
What is the best way to travel with fursuits when going to cons when you're not driving?
There is if you plan on taking a plane, there are cases that you can buy. I cannot think of what they are called, but they are flight friendly, and usually you can cram your suits in there pretty well. Um, Gosh, I wish I could remember what in the world they were called, but it's like a hard cased suitcase. I know several people that use them for fursuits.
I'm looking for a specific brand. Husky, I know, makes one.
I believe you can also pack up your suit in a box and have it thrown in the luggage area of the airplane, like other suitcases.
I think it's gosh. Okay, here we go. Kind of like this, a little bit, but not really. It's a much bigger version. Like put like four of these together and then give it some wheels, and that's like the case you want to put in there.
Hmm.
Take out all the padding. Oh, kind of like this. These are cool.
We should get in a habit of, well, we usually do, but just make sure that we stay on it, of reading these questions out loud, since our after show viewers won't really know what we're addressing if we don't say the question.
I did that. I did say the question.
Okay, I know. I'm just saying. It's just something that quickly flew through my mind.
Okay.
I felt inclined to say.
Zen the Red Panda asks, have you ever been stalked at a con by a creeper?
Hmm.
Are we talking about the creepers that explode on Minecraft? Because that would be insane. Boom.
I'd be like, get out of here, you green geometric wiener.
That's exactly what it is.
I know. I've never been stalked at a con. I don't think I have. At least not to an extreme point where people will follow me to my room. But I have had to deal with lingerers, and they're the kind of people. Lingerers are the people that will come up to you in conversation, or come up to you when you're having a conversation with another person and try to butt in your conversation, which is fine, if they want to join in. But then we'll walk away and they kind of follow along with us.
I've never dealt with one. I probably will in the future, but I'll let that happen when it does. Magic 2 asks, is driving or flying better to get to a con?
It depends on how far you have to go how much money you're willing to spend, the time frame that you plan on going. Um, if you're not really sure, it would be wise to kind of shop around and weigh your options. Um, Depending on what airline you choose to is really going to make a difference. Like earlier in the show, we brought up Allegiant, which is fairly cheap, but you can only fly out on certain days and it only connects you to certain airports. Um, Sometimes the closer you get to a leaving date, the more or the higher the prices for the tickets. So depending on, there's a lot of factors that you really have to weigh in. Um, let's see, I'm going to FWA, which is about, I want to say like right around 1,500 miles, and I prefer to drive. I could have easily flown, but I figure it's just I don't know. I think with other people it's going to be cheaper for me, but also I know where all my stuff is. It's there with me. I don't have to worry about it possibly getting lost in transit. Um, so yeah, it's hard to say for sure, but I would recommend just doing a little research before you make a decision and figure out which will work best for you.
Okay, I'm going to combine the next two questions into one, and this is directed to you because I don't suit. Um, Kami Pony and Sivanom or Sivnom ask, for an aspiring fursuiter, what's the best thing to do for your first con? And how do you go about solo suiting?
If it's your first convention, um, first of all, if it's your first convention and you have a fursuit, definitely have a handler with you because so many things can go wrong since it's a new situation. You're not used to the temperature conditions or the feeling of walking around in your suit. So you have a higher potential for falling, for accidents, for overheating. You really want to make sure that you have somebody trustworthy there to be with you at all times in case something does go bad. Um, let's see, what's the best thing for you to do at your first con? Mingle. Just get in your suit and mingle with other fursuiters. 9 times out of 10, the people that you interact with, if they're not previously engaged in a deep conversation or something, they will interact with you. Um, and there's a lot of fun things you can do. A lot of fursuiters have props. I've stolen props from people and ran down the hall, and then chases have pursued.
Oh, you're a horrible person.
It's all in fun. It's all in fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually with people that I know. I'm not just going up to some stranger and taking their stuff, but um, dealers and artists enjoy having suitors come through to their tables. It's a little difficult because those places can be pretty crowded. But it is, I know I love it. It's like a little energy boost, especially if it's suits that I've never seen before. And it's all, another reason why it's good for the artists is because they're crammed, and the dealers, is that they're crammed up in these rooms for half the day. So they don't really get a chance to enjoy the con.
um,
Let's see. Solo suit. Oh, let me touch on solo suiting real quick. I do not recommend solo suiting if you're a first time suitor or if you are going out in public. I do not have a problem suiting by myself within a safe environment, like in the hotel or outside near it. I would not take a walk down the street to get a sandwich at the local deli alone in my suit. um, it's it's potentially dangerous. You have risk of basically you have blind spots, terrible blind spots, so you're not getting a full field of vision, as well as not hearing everything properly. So traffic can be an issue. Running into other people is an issue. Um, Jerks are a major issue.
Jerks.
Jerks, for lack of stronger words. Um, as long as you are in an environment that you feel safe and comfortable and you are able to get around freely, I don't think solo suiting is terrible. I think people can do pretty well um, doing just that.
I'm gonna put you on a time limit for these answers.
I'm sorry, I'm going overboard. I'll let you get the next ones.
Okay, so let's see.
Review the
Um,
bunny. I'll read it. So you're driving. What car? So you're driving. What car do you have? Or what car do you have? I was running into
you have a tent
which
car.
ones. I do have a tent car. I don't use that crap. I put it together once because I wanted to see what it looked like, and then I folded it up and I never opened it again.
She has an Aztec.
Yes, I drive a Pontiac Aztec.
Ew.
Hey, it's a good little car.
Yeah,
I don't knock it. It takes care of me. I take care of it. So
I'm not driving. My boyfriend is, so I'm not really sure what kind of car he has. I just know that it runs. Um, let's see. Greth asks how to get the best out of your con if you're going alone. Oh, that's hard. Um, okay, if you're a sociable person and you're gonna go alone, uh, this is a good chance for you to find a room to be with someone, so that way you can get to know your roommates, and then go down to the con floor and talk to people. Like I've had people come up to me and be like, "Dude, I love your hair." Or someone's like, "Man, it looks like you got shot out of a sparkle can," and I'm like, "Really? Let's talk." So then, I went over there and I talked to them for a little bit and introduced myself, where I was from, what I do with FurMedia, things like that. And I kind of just spread myself around and try to talk to as many people as I can, enjoy the con. Um, just enjoy yourself. Go to panels. Oh, here's a good one. With panels, if you see someone sitting by themselves, sit next to them. Start talking to them. Because good chance they're by themselves too, and maybe they want a friend, and then hang out with them, see what they're doing later on.
I had a friend who went to a convention for the first time, and
For the very first time.
I can't remember his name. He's a pretty popular suitor. He's a lion. I want to say it starts with an N. Nobu or something like that.
Nabutu.
Maybe that's it. He came up and talked to my friend because he saw that he was sitting alone. And at the end of the convention, um, he told me, aside from the people I was rooming with, he was the only person that came up and talked to me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of sucks that he didn't really have anybody to talk with, but that that simple gesture really does mean a lot to people.
So talk to them.
Hmm.
Osmosis asks, do you need a fursuit to get into the dance competition? I'm not quite
I,
sure of the rules, honestly.
yeah, I'm not sure either. I know there's different dance competitions. I do not really enjoy going to them, but
We had the
from
discussion, didn't we?
right, yes. But from what I've seen, it's always people in fursuits or half suits. So that would be something to ask the con directors and such, the con staff, there you go, of the convention you plan on going to, because they would probably have a better answer. And every convention's different too.
Yeah. Sin191 asks, I want to fursuit in my college residence, but I'm worried about the typical college drunks. Any tips on how to handle them? Suit with
Mm.
have a handler.
Yes, have a handler. Go in a group.
Ooh, good one.
Hmm. The more people you have with you, the less you're going to be targeted. People will more likely be intrigued and curious and want to come up and ask what's going on if you're in a group. Um, you could also host something that invites your community to come and see you, like a bake sale or some volunteer project. Anything that is good and appealing. Um, is gonna put you and your fursuit in a better light.
Real quick, Sid, you keep posting a link. I'm really weary about clicking on links that I don't recognize. So if you could let me know, or if anyone knows if it's a safe link, then I'll go ahead and click on it and bring up the picture. If not, then I won't touch it. Sivnom or Sivenam, I don't even know how to. Nam, we're gonna call you Nam. Compare / contrast your experience in FurCon versus typical normal Comic Con. Holy crap.
Um, from my opinion, I've been to anime cons and comic and sci-fi, not sci-fi, sci-fi fantasy conventions and fur cons, and quite honestly, I really don't see a difference.
They're both nerd cons, but they are.
Yep, it's a big building full of nerds dressed in costumes, going to panels and buying a bunch of stuff that they really don't need.
Exactly. That's pretty much all it is.
All it is different. It's just different fandoms. As far as setup is and the things that you can do there, it's all pretty much the same.
What's a good car for driving to a con? A Prius.
One that runs.
Yeah, one that runs. Good gas mileage. I say Prius because you literally can just drive a Prius for a long time without having to fill it up again, which is pretty cool. So I say Prius. You'll save a lot of gas. Did that Sid ever respond? Oh, okay. It's a ooh. If I'm correct, we have someone from Czechoslovakia that's watching our show right now.
No way.
Shut up. Okay, I'm gonna copy this link location. It's been a while since we have someone that's watched us from a different country.
International.
Yeah, international. Let's see. It's a picture. Please tell me this is at a con. This. Okay, cool.
Not Czechoslovakia, Slovakia.
Okay. Still good.
Sid is Slovak.
What is this? Where are we? Is this a train? It is a train.
That's an awesome train.
You created your own party in a train. That is so cool. That is one party that I want to go to. That is stellar. Oh, that is so awesome. I'm saving this picture.
Perfect example.
I'm saving this and putting it on our page.
Please do. Perfect example of making the best out of a dull situation.
Yes. That is just grand. Let's see. We'll offer a couple more questions and then we'll close off for the rest of the night.
We'll take 3 more.
Yeah, 3 more. Let's see. 3 more questions.
Any old questions? Why doesn't Spacesuit? Asks Furret Tails.
The reason I don't suit is 1, because they cost a lot of money. 2, I'd rather put my money towards FurMedia, helping us get a little bit out there more, having us go to more cons, because I want to have more friends. Having a suit is just would be cool, but it's not something for me, you know. I like it when other people suit, but I'd rather be the person going out there and talking to you and sitting down and let's chat, let's go to a party, let's go to a movie kind of a person. So that's why I don't suit. I think I've said this in a con or show before, if I had a suit, it probably would just sit in a glass case just for everyone to see. Like the bat suits. Not a question, but can I get a shout out to a con that I'm helping out on?
Sure, why not?
Why not? Would you wear a suit a lot if you got it for free? Yeah. I'd wear a suit if I got it for free. Why not? And then I would advertise the hell out of that thing and be like, I got it from this person, blah, 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 blah. Oh, sweet. Free con. This looks like an anime con. It is. It's a cosplay con. Why are cosplay cons so awesome looking? And then you go to like a fur con website, they're all just like generic. That is stellar.
This does look pretty cool. I'd go to that con.
I don't know if it's a free con though.
We missed a question, but it wasn't bolded.
Yeah.
I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm gonna try Forgic Fox or 4GX Fox.
I think it's 4G Fox.
Okay. Says, have you ever heard of any fur cons over here in Australia?
Yes.
Well, we've got an Australian there. I know of Convergence. That's the only one I know of.
Is there someone that's from Australia? Is that person?
Is there an Aussie in the chat? That looks like a yes.
Let me see if you recognize this for. We did a .blogspot. There we go. We have a blog. We just don't use it that often, but we're gonna get back on this. We did our blogger Zero did a really cool blog of Kitsune, who is a fursuiter in Australia, who participates a lot. So hopefully you know who he is. He also does this charity as well. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see if he knows who it is. I think there was one more question.
Favorite fursuit makers and why? Autumn Fallings. As much as I love Nick and Lacey because they made my suit, I just adore Autumn Fallings. Their stylization, first of all, their official rough sheet maker is Enjoy Pandas, who you people will know as Blue Thunder. And her artwork is just stellar. Their style is just round and soft and super adorable looking. Really big eyes, really cute mouths, nose. And they're really good at the drop crotch style of fursuits, which I love. I would die and go to heaven if I ever got a fursuit from them, and then I would fursuit in heaven.
Mine is Sparky Can Do.
Oh, yeah, Sparky Can Do is pretty great.
Sparky Can Do.
We're like drooling on our microphones over here.
Osmo says, I did look for a con near you in Idaho. It looks like for Idaho is coming back in 2015, but there's no word for 2014. So they might be pulling a, what do they call this? What's the Rocket City Fur Con? They might be pulling a RCFM. Wait, no. I hate these stupid acronyms. They're pulling another con where they kind of disappeared for a year and they're coming back later.
Oh, wait. I think I made a mistake. I'm confusing things here. I said Blue Thunder was the artist for Autumn Fallings, but that is not correct.
Blue Lemonade?
Yes, Blue Lemonade. Hold on. Let me double check here. I'm sorry. I was confusing them with Sunny Valley Creations, who I also love very much. Blue Thunder does artwork for Sunny Valley. I don't know. I still think Autumn Fallings, though, is my top favorite fursuit makers.
And then I think there was nothing else, right? There's no other questions. I think that's it.
Yep. I think you're right.
Okie doke. Next Tuesday, we're talking about we didn't put a title on it yet, but I'm just going to call it Furry Magnetism. We're talking about relationships, love, not necessarily companions, but friendships, people that you've met, because it is the week of Valentine's Day. So we're going to talk a bit about that stuff. So join us next Tuesday for all of that jazz. Bring your stories and your crushes and all that jazz.
And your questions.
Yeah, and your questions.
Because we're going to talk about all that mopey, dopey, sappy stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to derp it up in here.
You're such a sap.
I know. I know. I should be a tree.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
You better quit it. Make like a tree and leaf.
Why don't you put an egg in your shoe and beat it?
Oh, God. All right. Okay, guys. We're going to head out. Follow us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/FurMedia, and Twitter. And then also subscribe to us on YouTube on FurMedia Pro. That's the actual name because FurMedia was taken already. Beastards. Whoever took that name. So, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Good night.
In Simba's Magic Panties.